Dude, you gotta lay off the garlic, man. I mean, I don't know if it's your breath, your feet, or your farts, but man, just you're a little ripe these days. Oh, gee, we're rolling. Pika! Hello, and welcome back once again. It is time for the Comics Coffee Table. That's right. Pull up a chair, grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. Chief, tough guy, sizzle chest, shout ahead. However you describe and identify yourself in this grand spectrum of humanity. Delish. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. We are a geeky chill stream where we congregate daily, but allegedly, at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. That's right. So we love talking about comic books. We like to continue this comic book shop style conversation, especially here on New Release Wednesday. So hopefully you and I right now are at my local comic book shop, and I'm like, I'm getting this. I'm getting that. What are you getting today? What are you getting today? Let us know in the live chat premiere. Let us know in the comment section. Don't be afraid if you miss the live chat premiere. We build the show to be holographic so you can enjoy it at any day, any time of the day, any day in particular. Hopefully you can watch old episodes and still be just as entertained. But new release day, Wednesdays, we've gotten into a really nice rhythm of checking out the menu of what's going to be released today. There is a website I go to called leagueofcomicgeeks.com/comics/new-comics. That's a URL, a universal resource locator. You know, the HTTP, the hypertext transfer protocol here on the information superhighway. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 127 different serialized print publications are available for our local comic book shops to purchase and offer to us, the hungry customers, on their shelves. Indeed, we are a geeky chill stream. We like to hang out and talk about our hobby, our love of comic books, serialized stories, superhero fare. Doesn't even have to be superhero stuff. It could be manga for all I care, or manhwa. We can need to maybe diversify and read more of that stuff. But yeah, it's new release day. We are a geeky chill stream. The Comics Coffee Table. Pull up a chair, grab a cuppa. We leave the real world's problems over there for a few minutes in our busy, hectic days. We take our minds off our minds. We use a little escapism and just talk about comic books, something that we love, something that, you know, some common ground. That brings us all together. We also try to have a great time. We try to keep it positive with a little room for some ranting and outrage here and there. Why not? I mean, it's all the rage out here on the intrapoop. The coffee table was always where my friends and I would congregate, hang out, and chill. There would always be a stack of books, a stack of movies, a stack of music, a stack of video games, and a stack of comic books that we were always trying to get the other to read. If you pick it, you better flick it. Ooh, yuck. Don't be. Hey, how to make a Kleenex dance? You put a little boogie in it. Oh, shucks. That's right. And yeah, the coffee table was always where we would hang out and try to turn each other on to some fun stuff and to be entertained with each other and whatever we're reading, watching, or listening to with good company. And we do that here. We try to continue the comic book shop style conversations. They're just so much fun. And there is fun to be had in these comic book shop style conversations. You don't have to agree to or be sold on just the sheer outrage that's out there. I mean, it's it lessens our experience, and it makes us enemies if we don't agree with each other. No, we don't have to. We can agree to disagree. Heck, I could disagree with you, and you potentially may hold some information and a point of view that I have yet to think of. And by sharing that in a decent civil conversation, you could be changing my heart and mind, for all I know, and vice versa. So yeah, I mean, we started off the show last year with this awesome hardcover Coffeetable book. It's called The Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days. You can find the link in the description where you can get your own copy. I've had this book was given to me by one of my best friends about 20 years ago. And it's been surfing my coffee table ever since. So this is where the comics coffee table, its genesis is where it came from. And it's great. It was fun. It was a page a day. You could open up to today's date, read some, look at some comic book art from an antediluvian age, read the blurb, and then talk about comic books. And it gave us the framework in order to hey, we can have a daily conversation about comic books. Yes, we can, and we do, and we shall, and we will. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Like and subscribe. Be part of it, please. Bring a friend. Suggest it to someone. Bring someone new. Be like some kind of just some kind of just underground fight club. One could say. Bring a friend, and they can bring a friend too. Why not? There's room for everyone here at our comics coffee table. Just bring something to drink. Bring a snack. I love snacks. I'm a chef. I love food. I love feeding people. I love pleasing people. I wish that comic book creators would have more of that instilled spirit of hospitality and guest relations, such as most usual people who work with people do. But hey, the market is changing, and hopefully the attitudes of the creators will follow suit. And so Wednesdays, we go to this website, we look at what's available that's going to be on our shelves, and it's good because I get like, oh wow, this is coming out, I'm definitely getting that. And also I am getting digital copies through a friend of mine who shares with me their Funnybooks, and so I'm reading a lot of comics that I never would have read before, and so I know what to stay away from, I know what not to give chances on, and I know which ones I'm going to go back and buy. Yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. There are a lot of comics this week. Jeez, just imagine being a comic shop, a local comic book shop, and having to buy a bunch of something that you're not gonna sell. And you get stuck with it. And that's like a big reason why I'm worried about the local comic shop, the LCS. Not only am so I'm at the comic book shop with you guys right now. I've gotten out of work. It's like the show's on. It's pre-recorded, but live before a studio audience of my stuffed animals, from our Boston studios. So I'm with you right now in the live chat, hopefully, and I'm at the local comic book shop, and we're looking at the shelves together and picking out this week's offerings. And it's great. But also, while I'm there, I'm going to be getting another short box. I think it's important for us to buy our supplies at the local comic book shop. I get my acid-free boards there. I get my bags there. I get my boxes there. I could be getting a price break on the, at a big box store or my online supply chain, which would deliver it to my front door with the free delivery in my subscription and the built-in movie network. You know what I'm talking about. But it's important for me to be part of my culture, and the local comic book shop is a fulcrum of our culture. And if these stores close, they're gone for good. They're not coming back. They're going to go the way of the record store or the mall toy store. There will always be, I believe, like a niche boutique for comics, yes. But the direct market, as we know it, is changing. And we are part of the solution. We are part of the problem as well. We need to be giving our local comic book shops patronage. I believe that. So I don't mind spending the retail markup because it's going to a good cause. It really is. So please buy your supplies. You must need bags, boards, and boxes as well. I know I do. We're rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my entire collection. I need supplies. You do too. So hopefully you are buying your supplies at your local comic book shop. If you would like a local comic book shop to buy from, if you don't have one in your neighborhood, I can suggest one. We got Yule Carter's Fantastic Comics out of Berkeley, California. His link is in the description of this very show. Hit him up. Tell him Sully sent you. Hey, I gave him a list of things I'm looking for, and instead of just buying from any old internet site, I'm taking my business to my friend and his comic book shop. So I'm giving him the patronage that he needs to keep his shop open. And this is the symbiotic relationship. And we should be going back to our local businesses and spending our money there and getting our bodies out of the house and into our village squares and going back to the stores. I think it's very important. It's very important for humanity, to be social. I can't stress that enough. And that's the mission of this show. Get your ass to your LCS, your local comic book shop, and spend your money there. Please. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get to the menu. I'm a chef. I love menus. I love food. I love just like looking at different menus. I love looking at old menus of bygone ages, like 19th and early 20th century restaurants. Just to be like, look at the selection. Look at the prices. I got a thing for menus. I love them. Well, being a chef, you have to know a little bit about menu design, about, where to place, what colors to use, what fonts, to use images or not. There's a science behind this stuff, man. I ain't making it up. Am I making this up? I am not making this up. I have show notes provided by my executive producer. Let's get to it. I like this list. It's tricked out in order of most ordered. And so here we are. We have new releases for this Wednesday, September the 6th, 2023. Leading it off is Batman 137 for $4.99, written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jorge Jimenez. And 40 pages. So that's probably going to be about 32 pages of story and art. It's legacy issue number 902. And it's part 2 of Batman Catwoman, The Gotham War. And I'm going to pass on this. I'm not interested. But I mean, this is the A-list. This is probably the epitome of DC Comics right now. Batman sells. Batman is the highest seller of DC Comics. This is legit the A team at DC Comics. Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. There are 6 variant covers for this. And I'm just not biting. I'll listen to whoever talks about it. I'll probably read it digitally too, in my stash of digital comics that I get from my buddy every week. I'll of course read it if it's part of that, if it's in that digital stack, and I'll have an opinion. But I'm not spending my money or my physical space and resources on that. No thanks. This is one I'm looking for. I'm actually looking forward to this. Legacy number 927. It's the Amazing Spider-Man number 33, written by Zeb Wells, art by Patrick Gleason, and it's part 2 of Spider-Man's first hunt. Spider-Man has been infected with the sins of Norman Osborn's Green Goblin. And now he's going to allow a darker side to take over. And this was the fault of Kraven the Hunter. who has been, stooping the Goblin Queen. And the Goblin Queen and the Craven are, stooping. And they're in cahoots. And the Craven needed to load up the reformed Norman Osborn with his sins and a mystical spear. And Peter, of course, puts himself in harm's way to save his friend. And now he's infected with the spirit of the Green Goblin's sins. And he's put the black costume back on. And now he's hunting Craven the Hunter. And this is a great flip and parallel to the 1987 classic Craven's Last Hunt. That was the Spider-Man crossover by J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Zeck. And something that I still have all 6 original issues on my spinner rack. It was one of the best comics I ever read. And it was in middle school, going into high school. And it was what a great time to be a 14, 15-year-old kid buying comic books. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I am looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man 33. I liked a couple of the past issues. I accept that there's outrage about it. I can only just nod my head at this point and be like, I get it. You're disappointed. And you're unable to enjoy it. And so maybe just take a break. I mean, but great cover by John Romita Jr. There are 9 variant covers for this. And no, I'm not going to buy it on physical copy. But I'll probably end up reading it in the digital stack. Yeah. Moon Knight 27. Moon Knight's been one of, written by Jed McKay. Federico Sabatini is doing the art. And it's one of Marvel's most popular comic books right now. $3.99 for 28 pages. And X-Men number 26. It's written by Jerry Duggan. It's $3.99 for 36 pages. So you're probably getting about 28 pages of art and story. And it's the wedding special. There are 10 variant covers. And it's the wedding special of announcing Mr. and Mrs. Emma Frost. That's just clickbait, all right? It's the wedding of Tony Stark and Emma Frost, the White Queen. And yeah, it's a crossover between Invincible Iron Man and X-Men, both written by Jerry Duggan. I don't have the problems with Jerry Duggan that most of my sphere does. Actually, he's a friend of a friend. So if I had a problem with Duggan's writing, I wouldn't be outragey about it. Because, literally, I've met the guy a few times. And he's legitimately a friend of mine. So, I've had my problems with Duggan's writing. X-Men Green, anyone? Hello? So it's not like I don't. But overall, I've liked his stuff. Okay. There's Immortal X-Men number 15. And we're still figuring out the survivors of the Fall of X and the Hellfire Gala. And the people will be picking up those pieces for a couple of issues going on. It's $3.99, 28 pages, so you're probably getting 22 pages of art and story. There's Poison Ivy number 14 for $3.99. Fantastic Four number 11 for $3.99. Star Wars number 38, written by Charles Soule, part of the Dark Droids crossover. And it's $4.99 for a 28-page comic, where you're only going to get about 22 pages of story, of story and art. And but $4.99 will be the industry standard before we know it. And looking at other titles such as Todd McFarlane's Spawn and Image, and specifically DC Comics has a Scooby-Doo Batman mini, and they're selling that at $2.99. So darn well these companies could be selling these comic books at $2.99, especially with all the shortcuts they're taking with outsourcing the art to non-domestic people that have, and domestic artists are having the biggest time struggling to afford to live, and they can't afford a page rate at the big two, or and it's hard to hear these heartbreaking stories coming from the creators. It really is. Scarlet Witch number 8. Shazam number 3. Okay, I'll pick that one up in a physical copy. It's fun. It's written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora, $3.99, 32 pages. So you're probably getting about 26 pages of art and story. There are 5 variant covers, and I'll be lucky just to get to continue picking this one up. But I'm satisfied with it so far. It's Mark Waid. He knows how to write a decent superhero story. Here's one that I just admitted to putting down. It's Justice Society of America, number 6, written by Jeff Johns. And it's not art by Michael Janin, art by Marco Santucci. And, of course, it's just digital. It's not for me anymore. And we have the classic cover of the Justice Society with the photos of their next picks on the round table, and I'm tuning out of this one. Yeah, I gave it a chance. I really did. And that's that. I'm happy to leave it there. Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 10. Written by Matthew Rosenberg. With art by Francesco Francavilla. I love Francesco Francavilla's art. It's got 3 variant covers. I'm not tuned into this. This one had the really much ballyhooed, outragey, pregnant Joker in the days of identity politics. And extreme outrage! Ah! To the ships! To the ships! Oh, God, it's so silly. Man, it's the outrage culture. But they get clicks. I mean, and I'm so grateful for you guys that tune in and that contribute to the comments and who are talking to us right now in the live chat premiere. I mean, thank you for sticking with it. Thank you for liking something, something different than the outrage culture. It's hard. I mean, we don't get a lot of views. We don't get a lot of clicks here, but it's not about a popularity contest or competition. I can't compete with those big channels. Outrage gets the clicks. It really does. And I even experimented with clickbaity, with it appeared to be outrage content. It really wasn't, but it was some Rachel Zegler stuff, and I almost got 1,000 views on one of those Rachel Zegler videos, and I got over 500 for the second one. And it was a bit more even keeled than outrage at all. I asked questions, but it really was not outrage content, just to put it out there. But it worked. You make the thumbnail. Especially with a badly framed image of her going weird, and it worked. I mean, there's a recipe for this, but I don't have the heart to do outrage content. It's not for me. This is $5.99 for 40 issues, and but I love Francavilla's art. I always have. There's Birds of Prey number 1, written by Kelly Thompson, and it's $3.99, 32 issues. It has 9 variant covers. It's written by girls for girls. That's okay. The all-girl team of Birds of Prey, usually led by Black Canary. It's got Harley Quinn. It's got Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. It's got Zealot from Wildcats, and Big Barda, and whomever else shows up. Girlfriends being girl things. I don't care. I mean, just sure. Why not? I mean, girls like comics. Girls need comics. There's plenty of girls in this chat right now watching this show. They like comic books. It's not made for me. I hope it's okay. I mean, seriously, back in the day, Gail Simone's Birds of Prey was a one darn good superhero comic that was part of the Bat family of comic books and played very well. You had Barbara Gordon Batgirl, and Barbara Gordon Oracle, more like it, with Dinah, the Black Canary, and her team, and just those were and Huntress, and those were really good comics, decent, solid superhero comics. So it was written by Gail Simone too, who gets a lot of crap from the Severe, and a lot of that could be justified because of the whole culture war, good persons versus bad persons thing. Agree to stay out of it. I mean, what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do with politics. I'm going to let the right and the left fight each other. And then when one of them is victorious and weakened, we just wipe them out and just get back to a typical American life. Same thing goes with comic books. Seriously. Don't be talking about our nefarious plans for world domination, Pika. Oh, you did write it down. Oh, then we can talk about that. Totally. But yeah, it's just like, I hope you like it. If you're reading Birds of Prey, let me know. I'll let you know if it's in my digital stack and if I gave it a peek. There's Silk number 5 for $3.99. That's Cindy Moon. She's part of the Spider family. There's Wolverine Ghost Rider Weapons of Vengeance Omega number 1, which wraps up the Weapons of Vengeance crossover between Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider and Wolverine Snick Logan himself. There's a new Blue Beetle number 1 coming out, $3.99. Donna DC trade dress. There's Peacemaker Tries Hard for $4.99. This is Black Label. It's got 3 variant covers, and I heard it's pretty fun. I'm not into Peacemaker. I haven't seen the any of the John Cena live action Peacemaker, whether it's in the movies or the Max show. So I'm pretty oblivious to that. So this incarnation of Peacemaker is definitely in the John Cena mode. And that's cool, Black Panther number 4. Looking forward to reading that if it's part of my digital stack. I really enjoyed issue 3. This has a penciler and an inker and Christopher Allen and Craig Young. And Eve Ewing. I mean, just like girls writing comics, all for it. I mean, if you're writing really good superhero comics and not just, platforming for messaging. I mean, please, just, this took me by surprise last month, and I was really happy with Black Panther number 3. So I'm looking forward to 4. City Boy number 4. I'm staying farther away from that. You, Greg Peck, you and anywhere wanna fuck you. Sorry, he there's my outrage. He's got me blocked on Twitter for adjacency reasons or because I'm apparently a bad person. Yeah, whatever. How am I supposed to buy your comic books? I'm not. Yeah, seriously. Magneto number 2. I passed on this. Written by J.M. DeMatteis, art by Todd Knock. If I read it digitally, I'll read it, but I'm not going to buy it. It's a 6-issue mini, and that's that. Oh boy, this is here. Sacrificers number 2. $3.99. I already read this digitally. My source hooked me up, and there's an Eric Canetti cover, variant cover. I will get this if they have the Eric Canetti cover, because Eric Canetti follows me on Twitter. I follow him. We've been on Wes's Thinking Critical together. We're kind of internet friends now, and I love it. Eric Canetti's a good guy, and he's a comic book artist, and he produces. He's a self-publisher, and this is about publishing too. This is not just about your superhero stories. The other part of this is the publication industry, trade dress, paperweight, cover stock, staples versus bindings, fonts, inks, fulfillment, distribution. This is the real life brass tacks of what goes behind getting your funny books to you. Eric Canetti's a great guy. I love him. Sacrificers number 2 was really impressive. I might just go back and buy issue 1 as well. And let's see. Does Eric have I'm gonna look at this Braga version. Tedesco, Frisson, Scalera, Matteo Scalera, Mignola. Fuck you, Mignola. Sorry, dude. No Eric Canetti variant on the cover here. So that's just for issue number 2. But I would go back and get issue 1 for Sacrificers. That was really deep and good. I don't like the sword and fantasy stuff, but this one really worked. Steelworks number 4. Stay far away from that, I will. Written by TV's Michael Dorn from Star Trek Next Generation, Commander Worf. It has 2 variant covers. I tried to shoot one, and it's just too digital flavored. It's not in my flavor profile. It's not my taste. And I'm a big fan of John Henry Irons and Steele and Natasha Irons. So yeah, there's that. There is Dark Droid, Star Wars Dark Droids, number 2 for $3.99, 28 pages, written by Charles Soule. It's the core title of the Dark Droids mini event that's binding together. It's the binding together like the Force. Binding together all the modern Marvel Star Wars titles. You have Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville number 1. Not to be confused with Fire and Ice, the Frank Frazetta, sword and sorcery title. We've got 5 variant covers for this, $3.99, 32 pages. It's about the dynamic duo of Fire, of the Brazilian green-haired green fire wielder, and Ice, her Nordic best friend who has ice powers. And they were introduced to me in the pages of J.M. DeMatteis, Keith Giffen, and Kevin Maguire's late 80s Justice League International. Great stuff. So it's Beatriz and Tora back together again, and it should be a sense of humor. It should be fun, and I hope it's good. You have Spider-Gwen annual number 1 for the Contest of Chaos. Sure, not my. I've been reading all of them, so I'll probably read this one too. But it's kind of weak sauce. It's $4.99 for 28 pages. But like I said, that's where the cover price is going. There are 7 variants for this. Ugh, yeah. Good luck. Spider-Gwen. It's Gwen Stacy, alive, with spider powers, and she's a multiverse survivor. There's Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy number 1 for $3.99. Written by Ron Mars. Penciled by Ron Lim. Inked by Don Ho. I would be totally into this, because just for penciler inker alone, that floats my boat. And that has 5 variant covers. I'll be happy to read this digitally if I get my paws on it. Here's one I read already from my source. Kill Your Darlings number 1 by Image Comics. $3.99, 32 pages. Written by Ethan Parker and Griffith Sheridan. Artist and colorist was Bob Quinn. And it's about a little girl who appears to be an only child with a struggling single mom. And she's able to enter her fantasy world of her drawings. And it's interesting. This was kind of done before in a way. I've seen this kind of story before in the early aughts. One of my favorite Vertigo books of that era, because it was written by Grant Morrison with great art by Sean Gordon Murphy. And it was called Joe the Barbarian. And Joe the Barbarian is about an only child, this boy living with his single mom. And the bank is about to foreclose on their house. And he needs to get downstairs from his bedroom because he's having an insulin crash. He needs to get to the fridge in order to give himself his insulin. And or he'll go into diabetic coma. So it's about this lucid dreaming he's having. So he's basically fighting in this sword and sorcery world with his toys and trying to save the queen, who's his mom. And by the end of it, what's real, what's fantasy, and does he save the day by getting the money, helping to resolve the problem and keep their home. It's a good story. Check it out. But Kill Your Darlings number 1 was interesting. It was a good read. And I would check out. I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I read it on the digital version. And we're winding down. There's a Buffy, The Last Vampire Slayer number 2 on Boom Studios. I'm a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. I should be checking this out. But I've got so many Buffy funny books. And just I need to unload them somehow. If you want Buffy season 8 and 9 complete, hit me up. I got them. What else is out there today? There's as always, every week, never see it, for $9.99, Betty and Veronica, Jumbo Comics Digest number 317. Never see that, man. Anything else out there this week? Let's see. I thought I saw one that... Oh, wow. Cyberfrog number 3 preview, Dark Harvest for $20. Writer-artist, Ethan Van Sciver. Colorist, Kyle Ritter. Letterer, Eric Weathers. It's here in the previews. It's $20 for 20 pages. Yeah. I think I've got that ordered on crowdfunding. It's a single issue that's done between Cyberfrog 2, Wrecked Planet, and Cyberfrog 3, Red Extermination. So Dark Harvest is like an issue 2.5, more like it. I've already ordered that one, but it's good to see that in the solicits. To hopefully that will be on the. You'll see that on the shelf. And what else? I thought I saw something that did catch my eye. Let's see. My Little Pony 16. No thanks. But still, I mean, the bronies are huge. The bronies are no joke. Seriously. I mean, this is great. Jenny Nicholson, internet, YouTube goddess. I love her. I love her content. And no, I'm not simping on Jenny Nicholson anymore. No, she kept me company during lockdown. I watched all of her stuff, and I love her delivery. She's actually one of the YouTube creators that inspired me to pick up the camera and to do this. I love Jenny Nicholson. Would be on my Mount Rushmore of YouTube creators that were my direct inspiration for doing this. And she did this Bronies, a documentary, and it gave me so much insight into something such as even the 45th president and his rabid followers. It wasn't really a political movement. It was a fandom. People that like to get together, dress in similar clothes, stomp their feet, and chant. I saw this huge thing between the MAGA people and bronies, like this weird correlation. I'm good at seeing correlations in things, and I neither approve or disapprove of either culture. They are who they are, Sure. I mean, just I don't know. They're not mine. Culture. I can tell you that much. I'm just an observer of this human quality, and that's it for New Release Menu Day here on New Release Wednesday. We've made it. We've talked about comic books all day, haven't we? This is great. What are you getting for New Release Wednesday? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comment section. Continue this comic book shop style conversation. You can. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe. We're trying to get back to making daily content. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Heed the call. Turn on those notifications and you'll never forget. It'll remind you. That's what it's there for. From our Boston studios and our production team, we thank you for tuning in today. I got hiccups. As we like to say and end the show, God bless, namaste, good luck, and we will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao, bye-bye. Thanks for showing up. Cheers.